Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. It's Asada. What's up? Thank you for tuning in to Gathering of the Griots here on Tuesday morning. You know how we do. We bring Black authors to light. We give them stage. And today we're going to have fun with Peggy Colbert. She like multimedia. She a multimedia author. She's not even just one thing. So we're going to get into that. But before we start and get into this hashtag Title Tuesday, let's pay homage to the female solution, because without the female solution, we wouldn't even be here. So let's give it up and find out what it's all about. Thank you, Naima Latif. Check it out.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the female solution.
There we have it. This is the female solution, and we're Gathering of the Griots. We're Tuesdays in the female solution family, and we bring you Black writers. This is a spin-off from the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, which will be coming up. We got a good advertisement for that for you later on. But before we get into our beautiful interview with Peggy Colbert, let's give it up for hashtag Title Tuesday. Woo, 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 woo. That's where we give credence, beauty, stage, support, make you know all of the titles of the book fair coming up August 9th. And so let me bring them to the table. Let's see what books we got going on. Oh, look at that. A book, I Had to Choose to Feel Better. That's by me. Yay. Asada Kirkland. Got a little me. I put me in there for a minute. Then we got From My Father to My Son by Stephen Lyons. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. Then we got Sister to Sister, Candid Conversations by Elogia Hadley. Then we got Yumbani, an African travel memoir by Rakina White. Then we got my girl Kay Shani bringing us Love and Everything in Between Hate. Lord, she does that fiction, baby. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. What If I Don't? That's a new title by Tony Lindsay. He does those murder mysteries. Lord, let's bring it to the table. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday, Tony. Uh-oh, what we got? Baby Shower Word Search. That's by Peggy Colbert. Y'all gonna learn about her in a minute. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. Then you got One Dead Lawyer. Uh-oh, another murder mystery by Tony Lindsay. Fiction coming to the table. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday again. We got Bad and Bougie Word Search Lunchbox Series by Peggy Colbert. She be having them. Look, when y'all see what she got so many things in store. I don't know how she's creating all this. Then we got Acorns in a Skillet by Tony Lindsay. He's a big writer too. Fiction. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. Then we got Amazing is My Superpower. Our Autism Journey Continues by Elogia Hadley. Once again, go ahead, girl. Keep bringing them books. And then The Black Truth by my girl Elogia Hadley. Again, yep. We will feature all your books and have you selling them on August 9th, y'all. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. And last, we had to say the best for last. Treasure Word Search by Peggy Colbert. We're going to see all of the collection in a minute. Happy hashtag Title Tuesday. We are so happy to have all those titles and more. We have a big, when you go to my page on Facebook, we have a big album of all of the titles that are coming, and they keep coming. So we're not finished. Just don't go nowhere. Stay happy and stay in tune. But what we're going to do going forward, we are going to bring to the table none other than a sister. I've been saying her name all over the place this morning. Bring her to the stage. Hey, Peggy.
Good morning.
I called you a multimedia author. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, you a multimedia author, because we're going to get into, at first I thought you were just a children's author, but then as I researched, I was like, oh my God, she's just creating and creating and creating. And so first and foremost, where are you from? And I guess I want to say, when did this writing career start?
Okay. I was born in Mississippi, little town outside of Columbus, Mississippi. Actually moved to Chicago My mom moved us to Chicago when I was 2. So pretty much you could say I've lived in Chicago all of my life. Um, I discovered I had the gift of writing and creating stories as a storyteller. My first year of college, someone that was dear to me did something very special to help me along the way. And in the process of meditating and searching for a way to thank them, I wrote my first poem. And it developed from there throughout the years. And then one day I saw an event and it triggered a story. So I began to write stories, and I actually wrote my first book about 20 years ago and just got it published probably about 10 years ago.
Wow.
So, yeah, everything in the making was a seed at some point, and now it's time for it to come forth.
Look at that, honey. I want you as an audience, I always say this, to listen to what got people started writing, because it's always something that's experiential, something that they had a relationship, they in
Yes.
college, they and you chose to create something. So we're gonna hear your poetry a little later, but it's so many layers of you. Ooh, I just love it. So when did you start writing for children though? Because you have such an expansive children's library. We're going to get into those books in a minute, but when did you figure out that you wanted to write for children?
Well, the children season of me writing happened when I have nieces and nephews
Okay.
that I enjoy very much.
Okay.
So my nephew uh, pet passed away,
Okay.
and it was very emotional for him.
Okay.
And my mom was like, "I have to go out to the house. Um, your niece and nephew um, dog passed away."
Mm.
And I had never experienced anything like that
Okay.
because we had a cat, but she was so bad. And then she ran away. So,
Okay. Okay.
and after that, I had another niece and nephew who dog passed away.
Okay.
And I was sitting there thinking of something to do for them,
Mm.
to remember, the good times with their animal. And this is when I came up. Now, My Dog Neighbor is also a book. That was my first children's book. And then it triggered, yes. I said, you know, I want to give neighbor friends because it wasn't just about my niece and my nephew's dog. It's about all of the different animals. And each one of my stories come with a theme. So, depending on what you're interested in instilling within your child, some themes are caring, slow and steady, not giving up, being kind, So, there are a list of problem solving. Uh, Madison's big race is about not giving up, being slow and steady,
Mm.
will eventually change the structure of wherever you are. Delivery dog Daisy is about problem solving,
Mm.
so each book, Farmer Dog Fido, Big Day is about helping, assisting, doing your part, you
Mm.
know, and watching the outcome come forth.
Mm.
So with my nieces and nephews, I decided to create something for all children. They had a rabbit. Reba is still alive. So one day I hope to have a big event where children can come and actually meet these characters that
Mm,
I've used. Although the stories are fiction, uh, the concept was triggered by a real situation,
gotcha.
So yeah, that's how I started.
I love that because, animals are important to children,
They are.
the pets, and I love that you decided. I wondered why you did that because a lot of black authors are always concerned with black characters and we don't see ourselves in books, and that's cool. We got that. We can do that. But I like that you did that. This was different, that you made these characters, and I love hearing the purpose behind each book, and the fact that you have a purpose behind each book is very strong. What age group is this for?
This is for age 2 when they start reading up until about 5 or 7.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
you. Okay, good. And so you have this collection. What about that first book? You said your dog is named Neighbor. That's his name?
Yes, my nephew's dog is named Neighbor.
Ah, I see.
And before Neighbor passed away, you know, I saw how caring the dog was to my
Hmm.
nephew, who
Hmm.
was about 5 or 6 at the time, and
Okay.
how he would play and take care of him, protect him, and they had a bond. And when I asked what was his dog name, he was like Neighbor. So I
Okay.
saw a multi concept. Neighbor is the name. We have neighbors,
Yeah.
and how we should treat neighbors. So it was an
Mm,
extension of a small seed that was planted.
got you. And I see that you have the book, but you also have a coloring book. Why'd you create that for the book?
Well, I created a coloring book because of children's attention span. And most children love to color. So I was thinking of avenues in which I can share, you know, the story. And I wanted to make sure I did something for our culture. I love everybody, as a people. And sometimes it's true, we don't see enough of positivity for ourselves and our people. So the coloring book dropped into my spirit, so I did it.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Our kids need activity. We got people chiming in this morning. We got Kusar Foods vlog says hello. We got
Hi.
Kim Jackson says very interesting when you were talking about the purpose behind the books and how the race was about slow and steady. We got a Joy Payne says, "Hey everyone, welcome. Come on in to the party." And oh, look what we got here. Oh, Higher Learning Network. Hi, Peggy. Enjoying your story. Excellent. Good. And then we got Kim Jackson said, I love it. So people are chiming in and loving what you do. And I think,
Thank
it's
you.
so beautiful because it's so basic. It's not, you don't got to go all out and figure out how to do this, And look, I was about to say, you ain't got to qualify either. We know you love everybody. But it's a shortage when these book festivals or book fairs come to the schools and they have all these books for the kids to choose from. There's a lack of books that look like the kids.
Yes, yes.
What we doing? You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
that's
So
my goal,
that's
to
right.
have them in the school system, so our children can see something positive and enjoy seeing themselves.
That's right. That's right. People do know that my girl Peggy Colbert is going to be at the August 9th book fair. And I'm
Yes,
going to do you have a place where people go to buy these books? Is it just Amazon or do you have a website?
you can go to Amazon. My website will be completed and reintroduced
Okay.
this Friday.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay.
PCPublishingInc.com.
Okay. So we could
Yes,
look for that next week.
yes, yes.
Let's see. I'm
All
gonna
of
put
the
that
books,
down.
most of them. I even have books that I haven't put on there yet.
Oh, let me put that down here. PC Publishing Inc.
Inc.com.
Inc.com. All right. We're gonna make sure y'all get that. Okay. Let me make sure. Oh, I put that as a comment. We're gonna put it up so people could get it later on. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
And
cool.
Amazon.
And they could go to
And
Amazon and get them. Okay, good.
my dog neighbor is on every book site.
Got
It's
you.
on Barnes and Noble. If you pull up the name, it will pop up on several sites.
Oh, I love that. My Dog Neighbor. So you guys make sure that you get that My Dog Neighbor, and that'll come up on Amazon, and then we'll see the website. I'll put that up a little later. Also, if you guys want to call in, the number is 727-731-5192. Lines are open. Don't call here trying to promote your book, though. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm gonna get you all if you do that. But if you have great questions and you want to connect to my girl Peggy Colbert, you can. Y'all are doing a great job with the comments, though. But now let's go into a little bit more of the work. I do absolutely love, like I said, the focus of these books and My Dog Neighbor and Friends. So you got the book My Dog Neighbor, but then these characters are all friends of that character as well.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I was working on My Dog Neighbor, and believe it or not, um, everything was a seed about 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And so I was like, neighbors should have some friends. And so I created uh, each idea. And as time moved on, I did what I could, because to be honest, publishing is not cheap. It's costly, even if you're self-publishing and
Mm-hmm.
cutting the costs. And
Mm-hmm.
so I created My Dog Neighbor, and in the past couple of years, I discovered different apps, to help me. My first book published, Melodies of Life, it it was very costly. And so
Okay.
I was like, well, God, I have this entire list of friends for neighbor, because you look at children, they have themselves, but then what about their friends? Which is what hopefully this will teach young people. Everyone is different, but everyone is also special in life in their own way. And so after doing a lot of research, getting apps together, I began to be able to create. And that is my desire, to help other women and men create and to expound on what's inside of them. And so, yes, I started creating. At the time that I started creating and writing, I was taking care of my mom. And it was a special season in my life. But we all know being a caregiver is not, it's not easy, and to say that it is, I mean, you need to release, you need to find something within you, or around you, to help you move forward. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I just began to dive into writing and
Nice.
creating. And that's where all of the extra things come from. And if you have a gift, if you meditate and nourish it, the ideas are going to just come.
You got
They're
it.
going to flow.
Yeah,
And so this is what happened with My Dog Neighbor and Friends. It just flowed. When it's time, it's time.
that's right.
So that's where that comes from.
Nice. Joy Payne says people do want to read about themselves. I'm glad that you're doing this. So she's
Thank
glad.
you. Thank you.
And then, oh, what does Kim Jackson says? I'm definitely purchasing and supporting for my grands. I know that's right.
Thank you.
That's right. That's what we want. That's the purpose of this. We want to, if we don't take responsibility for getting ourselves out, who will? Like, it's just that
Right.
simple. I'm not gonna expect someone else to take that responsibility on. And why don't you have more black people in your fair? What? No, we got to do it. That's why we do the book fair, so that we take
Yes.
responsibility for our comeuppance, for our exposure, and don't worry about what other people are doing. Just take responsibility. That's what I say. Now, you have a whole series of word search books. Girl, Bad and Bougie. What's that about? We want to hear what that's about, child. What's Bad and Bougie about?
Okay, I did Bad and Bougie when I was learning how to be a more productive and effective uh, publisher.
Okay.
And so we know ideas sometimes just come and they sometimes just flow.
Hmm.
So I've always wanted to do activity books, do things to get people attention. Um, so as I was learning how to develop and publish, I was thinking about our teenagers
Hmm.
who definitely need things to do. And so I worked in social service for many years, and I would have activity time with our young people to find out there wasn't much to do. And so a couple of years ago, about a year ago, when I discovered some resources that I needed to go forth as a self-publisher, I thought about Bad and Bougie. I'm not sure where it came from, but how we look at Bad and Bougie because of how our young people dress, and we see it as a negative thing sometimes.
Mm.
Look at her, she thinks she bougie, or they say I'm bad and bougie, but they really dressed kind of, you know, not desirable.
Okay.
But I created bad and bougie word search as bad meaning good, you
Hmm.
know, like the
We know
band
how that
said.
is. We know how that is.
Yeah,
I'm
and
bad.
bougie meaning living a lifestyle.
Okay.
But as you present this, you know, I see it as an open door to talk to them about how to get to that lifestyle in a positive way.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing wrong with you having your own airplane,
Nope.
but let's get it in order on how to live and be able to keep it without looking over your shoulder.
I know that's right.
So I created Bad and Bougie mostly for our teenagers. And then, once the river start flowing, all other kind of stuff come out.
Okay. I'm
So
I'm glad. I'm
yeah,
glad. That's a neglected age group. People don't do things
yes.
for our teens. And it's like,
Yeah.
are you
And
serious? Like, they
and
getting ready to go into adulthood, and they lose attention. All the books be for little kids, and it's like, who does
yeah.
things for us?
And
And so,
so I didn't make it too thick because their attention span is short.
okay,
So um and I wanted again to create it in a way that it captured their attention,
gotcha.
in the things that they do in life, how they dress, how they move, how they look, and yeah, use it as a tool to begin to talk to them about business development, finances,
Mm,
you know and how to grow.
nice. So, like, boss word search focuses on what?
Boss word search focuses on business. It focuses on being in charge. Uh, It focused on leadership. It has all of those things. Somewhere those words are within the search.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Focus. I love the focus. I love how you said you got themes to your work. And so you got what you got down here, baby shower word search. Is
Yeah,
that something
so
that, yeah,
that's
go
for
ahead.
baby shower.
Yeah. But it's so it could be like a gift for
It can be a gift for someone that's having a baby shower. It can
right.
be activity at the baby shower.
Night,
Um,
right.
yeah, so it could be used for a vast number of reasons.
Got you. And then self-care word search. That seems great. What are the focuses of that?
So self-care word search, you know, giving yourself the best quality of care. There are some things, I'm not saying I'm not a cheap person, but there are some things for yourself. Now I'll go out of my way for people, and I had to learn, you know, also do it for yourself. So self-care is about taking time, meditation, vacation, uh, enjoying life, giving yourself a schedule to do something for yourself.
Mhm. Now, let me ask, what's been the feedback? First of all, these books have been out for how long? The both children's books and the word search books. You said that the seeds were like 20 years ago. You
Yeah,
started publishing
and
like 10 years ago.
so they've been out for like 8 months now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, those are
I
new babies.
those are very new babies.
Oh, so you gonna be in the ceremony at the book fair. We got a ceremony for debuting authors, girl. You about to be in there. Okay. So
Yeah, those are very new babies. I have a
okay.
few that I did in 2013, 2014 that I'm going to republish.
Okay.
But those are new babies. I
Nice.
began to create. I was missing a couple of pieces of
Mhm.
resource. I was missing a couple of resources.
Okay.
Um if I could share this.
Sure.
My mom passed away, and I was there with her pretty much every day, 24 hours. And I have sisters and brothers that helped. I was in hardship. I mean, it was a tragedy. I had never, now we lose people that we care about, and that's horrible. But I learned when you lose people that you're so deeply in love with, it's a tragedy. And I was sitting at my table that I sat at for 4.5 years in between taking care of my mom. And I began to cry to the God that I believe in. And I said, now what do I do now, God? And all I could hear in my spirit was continue. And at that moment, in that time when I was doing a search on a laptop crying, I found my other resources
Wow.
that I needed. And I began to work. I took AM and PM out of my life a
Ooh.
long time ago.
Ooh, go ahead.
I work when I need to rest, I rest,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get back to work again.
Yes.
So it didn't matter. 2 a.m. in the morning to me was like 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay. Right.
So I just did the work. And when you get into your element, grace is sufficient. So,
Ooh, that's
yeah.
a good one. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. She said, when you get into your element, grace is sufficient. Baby, let me write that down. Where you got that written? You got that written somewhere?
Actually, no, I just thought that up
You
right
just
now.
thought it up
No,
right now. Guess who getting ready to write it down right now? When you are in your element, grace is sufficient. I love it. Continue.
And so I began to create the children's book because, to be honest, I couldn't afford to pay another $3,000 to $4,000. I had like 10 children books. So I learned the different techniques of formatting, creating a cover, um, and how to uh, get it published. And if I may say, you're looking at barely a couple of $100s for each book. And this is what I would love to share with people. One day I will have a free workshop because I came across a friend of mine came across a young lady who was in domestic violence. And in the process of being divorced, she was searching for what she used to do, create books, and she was an influencer, and she was making money before it took her spouse put her in the situation that she was in. And so a friend of mine asked me, could you share how you do your books and what you're supposed to do? I sent her everything she needed, because it wasn't about the money. It was about helping a sister in need. And the updates started coming in and how she was back into being her influencer that she was, and her books were doing great. And it was amazing. It was liberating. And we all need that in our life.
That's right. That's right.
And we should be able to have it whether we could pay for it or not.
You better say it, girl. Look,
So that's my mission,
I
to
love it.
help my sisters come forth with whatever is within them that's supposed to come forth.
Kim Jackson said profound with caps, honey, and
Thank you.
exclamation points. Thank you, no doubt. Well, we are loving what we're experiencing. We're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, there's a whole other side. It's a whole other side to this sister right here. We got all films, poetry, playwriting, all kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that. But first, let's go to take a quick commercial break. And yeah, be ready when we come back after these messages. Here we go.
The Soulful Chicago Book Fair, Woodlawn's premier summer event, returns to 61st Street between Cottage Grove and King Drive, Saturday, August 9th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Join us for another celebration of literary works by and about the Black experience, featuring children's books, fiction books, and non-fiction works by local and international authors. The main stage will host an entertainment lineup second to none, with Pari Lemuel, Aniba and the Soul Stars, and the mesmerizing Moo Moo Fresh. Special guest, DJ Celeste. The community stage features a variety of family-friendly performances, such as DJ sets produced by IC Music, an organization that trains and promotes blind audio engineers. All this and more, Saturday, August 9th, free and open to all. Be there. Visit soulfulchicagobookfair.com for more information.
Y'all see that? Girl, that's the book fair where you're going to meet Peggy Colbert live, baby. So that's August 9th.
Excited.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that street? People be coming out. People say if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. I beg to differ, because obviously we ain't have two people out there. There's a whole street full of people coming specifically.
We got a bunch of readers.
Come on, and a bunch of writers. So let's be clear. Every block will be a different genre. So we're very excited about that. So now let's get into Life, you got the children's books, Life, that you mentioned. We love that. But I want to get into, you are a filmmaker, you are a playwright, you are a poet. Like, what is happening? Let's talk about this promotion. Let's talk about this right here. I saw this. I was like, what's she doing? Beggars and Bums, a comedy by Peggy Colbert. Girl,
Listen, people tell me I'm funny, but I didn't think I was that funny. But
girl, talk about
apparently,
this.
apparently there's a comical side to me.
Okay. So yeah, talk about Beggars and Bums, because it's a comedy, but it says here you got a Best Writer Award presented to you for a theatrical play, Beggars and Bums. So what's the deal? Is it a play? Is it also a comedy? Like, what is it?
Beggars and Bums is pretty much a franchise I'm working on. Uh, I worked in social services for over 25 years. And it was triggered because of a an activity that we had to do maybe once a month or every 2 years. There's a there's a censorship that is charted down for the homeless. And we would go out, and with me being a part of ministry also, we would go out and we would count and give to the homeless, see if there was something they needed. So one thing I found out that was hard to do was, you cannot look at a person and tell whether they're homeless or not. And so I had a lot of conversation with people, and how you approach people is very important. And so in the process of talking to people, Beggars and Bums birthed out because I would talk to people, and even though they were homeless, there was laughter. You know, you never know what situation a person might be in, that put them where they are, and we will talk about begging, and we will talk about bombs, and people weren't really beggars. And the concept that people are beggars and bums because they're homeless is so not true. It's stereo. You put people in a box or in a category without getting to know people. So in the process of talking to people, I discovered a multi-complex uh, title.
Okay.
Beggars and Bums can be looked at as beggars and bums, people that are beggars, people that are bums, but also looked at as, we have beggars and bums in our lives that
Talk
we
about
can't
that.
get rid of.
That's right.
What about the beggars and bums in your life? What about that uncle that won't go anywhere,
I
that
was about
lives
to
with
say,
you
uncle,
and your,
uncle, uncle.
and your mama? And I had my nephew to do some voiceovers, saying little beggars and bums grow up to be big beggars and bums. Our kids, they feel entitled. So
Yes.
all of this came out about beggars and bums. And so I decided to do the play. And I had such a complex time. I had my decision to do this, I had to let the theater read the play, and they were like, "We're sorry, we've never had to read someone's script before, but your script is causing such an uproar in the community." Because I had like a 6 foot poster in the windows that said beggars and bums. I really couldn't put the one I wanted to put up there, but that's okay. And my concept worked for me. I had half the group saying, "Oh, she's talking about beggars and bums. She's downing homeless people," which wasn't true. And then I had the group that thought it was hilarious. So
Mhm.
between the group that thought it was hilarious and the group that thought I was being critical and not fair, I had a sold out show to bring everyone together
Mm.
and
Nice.
give them the true perspective that everyone homeless is not a beggar, a bum, they're not sick or dealing with a bad situation. They're
Right.
just in a situation. So when my goal, when you see a homeless person after you watch my production, I don't I want your concept of them to be more open
Mm. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not want to walk across the other side of the street because you think so negative.
Right.
So that's where the comedy come in, and the laughter that I found while out with people, you know, that have hope. I met some pretty funny people. So that's where Beggars and Bombs come from.
I love that. And Kim Jackson said here, like that old, how you say that word? I forgot how to say that.
Adage,
Yeah. No, it's
Attache.
yeah, attaché, something like that. It states that not judging a book, no pun intended, by its cover, right? And so
Right.
not judging a book by its cover, these brothers and sisters. And I'm gonna tell you something, marketing wise, it's a brilliant title because it does what you need people to do. Wonder, what's she doing? She making fun of them? She being politically incorrect? Is she get like that's what gets them there? I got a book called Beating Black Kids, and people be like, "Why you say that? It should be Don't Beat Black Kids." I said, if it said that, y'all wouldn't go look for it because you'll be like, "No, I do beat them." So, and then you keep going, but that Beating Black Kids, you don't know what it's about, and so you seek to it. So I love that this is a great title because it does draw people in to see, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And then you get them
Yes.
in. You said sold out show, and then you can give the ideas that you want, give the viewpoints that you want, and I love it. So like, what um is this play? When is this play? Because I see this says you were given this award in 2023. uh are you going to have this up again? How can people see it? Is it something that's going to be
Well,
filmed?
stay tuned. I will be doing the play again maybe next year,
Okay.
but this year we're working on actually making it a film.
That's
You
what I
know,
thought. That's what I
um,
thought, baby. Making
yeah,
it film.
hopefully Netflix, Hulu, speaking things into
Come
existence.
on, let's go.
Yeah, so
Let's go.
making it into a film and a franchise because I'm actually
Nice.
working on writing 2 and 3.
Yes.
And yeah, but definitely doing the play again with some, adjustments,
Yes.
now that I'm getting better
Okay.
and, you know, perfecting my craft.
I love it. I love it. I love it to the max. We love it. And I think, it's so how did you cross over? Like, how do you get from children's books playwright? Like, where does that come from? How did you cultivate that, to get to where you knew you wanted to make it something people could experience, not just a book about bums and beggars, but an actual play, and then soon to be film. I say I can definitely see the film. But yeah, how did you make the switch?
Well, there really wasn't a switch. It all came up together.
Okay.
Uh, Usually, when I write something, I see the full concept of what I'm doing. If I write a song, I already see the video. The people I'm working with say, I know you already see the video. So when I write something, I get a full package. Everything comes to me. And so as I decided to write Beggars and Bums, and it's kind of a back and forth. A season I may work on a children's book, a season I may work on a film, and there's a season where I'm a, I'm a lyricist. I write songs, and God always blesses me with who I need. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. God always blesses me with who I need at that appointed time. So I go back and forth, but everything kind of happened. I got like thousands of tablets. I'll be working on a children's book and an idea come to me, and I'll just write it down. And once again, once you get into your element and begin to flow, all kinds of things come to you. And so to promote Beggars and Bums, I decided to do a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loved it. So we did a comedy show um, once a year in Chicago. And each year I create a t-shirt and give it away. And I invite comedians to come out, you know, uh, and do their thing. And we have a great time, a great night. And that's another entity that's a part of the franchise that I'm creating, Beggars and Bums comedy show. So, yeah, stay tuned.
I love you done said it about 4, 5 times. You keep saying that word franchise. And that is such a great big way to think, right? Because
Yeah.
it demonstrates a continuation, right? Of a thought and then just expansion. All you could see is expansion when you think franchise. Like, boom, branding, let's go, Beggars and Bums. It's gonna become a thing. And who know, and the partnerships that'll probably come out of that is outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
partnerships. What's that magazine they do? The homeless do here in Chicago. They've been doing it for years, but it's a newspaper they
Oh,
that they sell. And it's a newspaper done by brothers and sisters that are homeless. But I'm gonna think about it and figure it out. I feel like the word streetwise. That's what it's called.
oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Streetwise. I've been doing Streetwise for definitely over a decade, for decades. So I
Right.
mean, there could be a partnership with Streetwise and
Oh, that
advertising.
sounds amazing.
You see what I'm saying? And then you got Beggars and Bums being advertised there, doing shows together. I mean, don't get me started, girl. That's what I do. I love
Yeah.
a vision. I love a vision. And
And a
so
fashion collection is
I
coming
mean,
out.
come on, see you playing games. Also, I got another brother, Michael Earhart. He has taste for the homeless, and he does an event specifically for the homeless, and he cooks for them. He cooks for them almost every day, and he be having groceries for them and everything. And so, but taste for the homeless, you gotta be homeless if you're gonna be up in that bad boy. And lot, so there could be a partnership even in that,
Yeah.
to
I,
take it to
I
another
I
level.
I follow him. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. Actually, something you said about your characters, he has a company that brings the characters of your books to life. It actually he does the mascots for books, and so you can get the mascots made for your books that you were talking about.
Oh,
So
that sounds amazing because
yeah, I'm
that's
got
that's
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 what you
part
said.
of
You
my
talked about that.
goal. I want children to be able to come and talk to neighbor, and I'm
Yeah,
working on an app. You can ask neighbor anything about the animals.
nice.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna hook you up because definitely we just talked about that yesterday, I think, or the day before. And he will make neighbor, baby. He will have
Oh
neighbor.
my goodness.
He will have neighbor at your booth
Look at God.
with people taking pictures. So I can't wait to give you his number. Can't wait. So
Oh
yeah,
my
so
goodness.
yeah, we'll definitely get that done. That's not a question. So beggars and bums, y'all know, be looking out for that. You are filmmaker. Tell us the name of your film, and then we didn't get to get the excerpt to show, but it's something you can look up on YouTube. Go. What is the name of your film, and what is it about?
The name of my film uh, is Colorblind Love.
Okay.
You know, I had a friend who had a dog, and everything stems from everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so after the experience with my family and their animals, I was like, I would never fall in love with a dog. I mean, being in love with a human is bad
Ah,
enough when you lose them,
right.
but I cannot do a dog.
Okay.
So this is based on a true story, and I end up moving in with her and her dog. And that dog showed me. I never knew a dog could show love the way it did. I mean,
Wow.
every single day, she even got a little jealous. She was like, "Wait a minute." Every single day I came home from work while I
Mhm.
was living with her dog brought me a gift and set it at my feet.
Wow.
It was either one of her toys,
Yes.
and when she couldn't find a toy, she would go to her owner's clothing bin and find a sock and bring me the sock
Here we
and sit
go.
it at my feet.
Nice.
And it broke me. I
Wow.
fell in love,
Wow.
you
That's
know,
amazing.
and that start the river to flowing. So I thought about colorblind love, and they say dogs are colorblind, and they
Mhm.
said dog animals love unconditionally.
Yes.
What if we could be that way as a person?
Wow. Wow.
So what if we could love unconditionally? What if we all can see no color? So that's what colorblind love is, a twofold thing. It has a couple of meanings, and it's my story, about moving in and the young lady playing hard, but the dog broke her down,
Wow. Look at that.
you
That's a
know.
great twist. I would never think that. Colorblind love. I'm thinking about an interracial marriage or something.
Yeah.
But it ain't about that. I love that
It's
twist.
not about a lot of my stories aren't what the title appear to be, but
I love it.
that's what came to me, and I
Yeah.
want to peak. I want everybody to be intrigued and wonder,
Yes. Yes.
and then boom, I hit them with the real deal.
Hit him. Boom. Hit him with the real deal. Which now brings me to we're almost done. My goodness. We got like 4 minutes.
Yes,
We
I've
got like
enjoyed this
four
so
minutes. It's so
much.
crazy. Look, but check this out. Poet, filmmaker, children's author. We ain't there with the poet yet. So let's look at it right now. Talk a little bit about it. So we got Skin So Brown and we got Melodies of Life. So which came first?
Skin So Brown.
Hip hop poetry. What's up with that?
Hip hop poetry. Um, as a songwriter, I also did do poetry, and sometimes I could hear a beat, or I often tell my friends, "Hey, send me what you got," and
Okay.
I listen, and it just snatches me up,
Yeah.
and a beat start playing and the words start flowing. And
Oh,
sometimes I um, connect with other artists, that want to release something, or you know help me. I have a collaboration of poetry that I published from myself and about three other people.
mm,
And Skin So Brown was actually written by a friend of mine. And I
okay.
was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this spoken word. And
Okay.
so I have several spoken words pieces with music. And Melodies of Life was my first baby.
Nice.
It was my first written script. I
Wow.
I wrote it as a play, then I wrote it and produced it as a book, and then I turned back around and made it. I did a full circle as a play, and we did it last year
Wow.
at the Beverly Theater, and it was
Nice.
amazing, you know. So, and that's that.
Look, sister said, Naima said, such a powerful, creative human being you are. I
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah, I love your mind. I love your mind, child. And then Kim says, such a great storyteller you are, sister. You speak life so beautiful. I love it. Now,
Thank you.
before we leave, we're gonna get us some of that poetry. So what poem are you gonna read for us tonight?
Well, a lot of my stuff, comes with music and stuff, but I have something that's fitting to
Okay.
um what we're talking about today and
Okay.
moving forth. So I'll give you guys a little bit of that.
Come on, baby. We got 3 minutes. Hit it.
Listen, I remember the days when we could walk down the street, not worry about the people we would meet. I remember the days we could sit out on the porch, leave your windows open, doors cracked, and children in your yard. We can't do that no more. I remember the days when respect was on the list. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. May I help you walk across the street? I remember the days when we were one as family. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We all ate in harmony. Listen, we've been stolen by violence, cheated of a good life. The melodies of the street is killing love and choking peace. Where do we go from here? Make our pathway clear. Help us deal with what's inside to move to a better life. Chicago, stop the violence. New York, stop the violence. LA, stop the violence. DC, stop the violence. Brick by brick, hand in hand, we can make it if we stand. How's that?
Ooh.
That's just a verse, but I
love a
know we
good
don't have
poet. I
time.
love a good poet. And yeah, we're down to 1 minute, but let me just say this to you, Peggy. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to helping to promote you and get you rolling at the book fair. You guys, I wish we could hear our claps. Give it up. Woo! That was
Thank
such
you.
awesome.
I enjoyed being here.
Yes, that's an awesome piece. Now, is that in a book? Can that be bought?
Yes, that's in my book, Shades of Poetry.
Okay, good. So will you be selling that at the book fair?
Yes.
There we go.
I'm republishing Shades of Poetry and Melodies of Life, and I will have it at the book fair.
There we go. You guys, thank you for being here. This was a wonderful day. She had so much to offer. I love your mind. I love your mind and how you think. Where's my quote? She said, when you are in your element, grace is sufficient. Oh, I'm going to send that to you.
And whatever you do, continue. Don't give up.
That's right. Don't give up. Y'all hear that? Words of wisdom, y'all. We do it like this at Gathering of the Griots. Thank y'all for being here. See you next Tuesday. And see you at the book fair August 9th. Peace. Love y'all tremendously. Okay, peace.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareth. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you
And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.